All right, we're on Facebook. 1 second. All right, how's it going, everybody? Let me just get clear on here and get rid of what this. All right, we're live on Facebook. We got Tyler Ugalde coming on in just a second. Let me just make sure everybody's clear. Got 31 people in the house. If these shows resonate with you, please share so we can stay above these algorithms. Whatever we're doing, we must be doing it right, all of us, because everything is just moving faster and becoming more clear. Hello, everybody. Let's bring Tyler up. Let's see. Tyler needs to hang on a second. Let me pull you up. Very cool picture you got on here. Here we go. Let me unmute you. Take a second. What's happening?
Nothing much. How you doing, brother?
Where are you at? That's my first question. Where are you at?
State or just currently right now?
No, in Florida. No.
Oh, okay, West
You
Palm
mean
Beach. Yeah.
the state of your being? You're in West Palm Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I'm up in where the hell am I? I'm up by Siesta Key Beach. But I have a feeling we'll be down that way. We got a beautiful sister down there you need to meet, Zavetta Da Vinci, very close to Morgan and I. She's been down there for
Yeah.
a while.
Haven't heard of her.
Zavetta Da Vinci, you haven't heard of her?
No.
She's an amazing lady. Yeah, she's been down in she was staying down by South Beach for a while, but she's moving up to Hollywood. So that's not
Okay.
too far from you. I think Hollywood's in, is that in Palm Beach County or Broward? I think it's in Broward.
No, I think it's around Broward. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably because I had an office in Hollywood, and I know Palm Beach was probably like 20 minutes away, so it's
Hmm.
not too far. Let me just pull this up so I can see the comments.
That would be awesome to see you, though.
Yeah. We're coming that way, man. There's no doubt. I don't know what's going on with electronics, but every time we have problems, oh, we got 50 people in the house now. Must be all those girls that are following you. So, welcome everybody to Soul Speaks 5D. It's just a conversation, different type of talk show, conscious conversation. We have with us today Nikola Tesla's great grandchild. So, what's going on, man? I mean, I see you putting your stuff out every day, and it's great. And you got
Yeah.
a lot of people that are following you and have been following you, for a long time before the first show. people would tell me, you need to get this kit on. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, so you're putting it out there every day. Where's your inspiration coming from these days with all this energy coming in?
Um, really just getting more in tune with myself, you know. Each day we that goes by, you know, it's like we never stop growing and learning as long as we allow ourselves that capacity to remain, you know, open and willing to listen, you know. And it's just getting more in tune with myself every day. It's inspiring, you know. It's soon, you know, you don't even have to look for inspiration. You don't even have to look for motivation. You're just so grounded with it in
Yeah,
you. Like same with love, you know. It's I recently fallen more deep into my heart space, and it's just
yeah.
been an incredible feeling.
No, I can relate to what you're saying. I really
Yeah,
can.
all just within you, where you don't even have to try and force
Yeah,
you know, an inspiration or look for inspiration. It's just there, you know. It's just within you. It's effortless.
yeah, yeah. And and we try to explain this stuff, and my phone's going crazy. We're trying to explain this stuff, and energetically, obviously there's a language, and that language like applies to all aspects of what you're describing. But when we talk about it, it sounds like two or three or four or five different things. But what I'm getting from you is what I'm feeling, and it's like there's been so much letting go. The
Yeah.
universe is in our face, and that's not you, and that was just a story, and that was an illusion. But one of the things that came to me today, I woke up at 4:44 this morning for like the fourth or third or fourth night in the last 5 nights, our mornings. What I got was that, yeah, you're letting go of this stuff, but when you do that, you're letting go. Let's just say 3D. You're bringing in 5D, and to me, it's almost like there's more of a challenge now in getting used to this new energy that's really our natural nature versus trying to find shadows and get rid of the stuff that's not us.
Right.
That's a good silence is good. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, just processing that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, no, there's nothing to apologize for at all. And maybe that's where we start. I mean, there's so much of this stuff that we're letting go of, and what does that mean? That means people, relationships, jobs, homes, beliefs, convictions, uh, even like the stuff that we're pulling down from the higher dimensions, not over identifying with them and over attaching to them, and finding this middle ground somewhere between the human that we came from and all this other higher stuff that we're pulling in. Because
Yeah.
going too far to one side or the other doesn't even make a difference whether you're going too far into the multidimensional or too far into the old stories of the past. They both have the same debilitating effect on our trajectory into the divine human.
Right. And I think it's actually hardest to let go of the concepts we have of ourselves. I think we get in our way. You know, we're the only thing that gets in our way, and you know, we can let go of the outside, but in letting go of the outside, it just prepares us for the ultimate letting go of everything inside, which is the hardest. I feel the hardest is to let go of what we feel we are and the inside concepts.
Yeah, like what we are and what we think we have to do, or what I just
Yeah,
think
like
there's
I mean, when we don't realize everything outside of us is already within us, it's connected to us. We'll attach to the outside. We can have our happiness taken from us through the outside world if we're too attached to it, if we're too stuck to it. But when we can kind of let go of who we think we are, it releases that boundary and that limitation of separation where everything is separate on the surface level. and it kind of brings a deeper understanding into the beauty in letting go, because there's nothing to hold on to. It's
Yeah,
yours. It's all yours.
exactly.
Everyone, everything.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the
To,
ugly.
to resist anyone, to resist any scenario, to resist anything is just you resisting yourself. So to me,
Exactly.
it's like the hardest thing to let go ultimately is yourself. You get in your own way without
Yeah.
realizing it, obviously.
Yeah. I've got this spirit walk brewing inside of me. That's how Soulogy was really founded as far as the videos go. And I don't know, I haven't quite got it framed up yet because, the energy that we're in now, there's no framing up. You just got to like connect and let it go. But to me right now, it would go something like this. I mean, it's like, you know, uh, like you said, there is nothing outside of ourselves. And, this, whatever it is, I mean, I look at it as a potential program, or it is a program, whether it be the Anunnaki story or the Illuminati or the Vatican or vaccines or chemtrails or QAnon or Trump, the goodest, the best, and the worst. All of it is going to take my power away if I put my faith in it. The only thing left is faith in me and taking
Right.
responsibility for what I'm experiencing.
Right. A good example, like I've used with people, is a lot of people I've said are looking for their home, like their place. If they can just figure out who they are, they'll figure out their place in the universe and so make it home. And we all have an idea of home and where home is, but what I try and encourage to people is that home is nothing but the heart space, and we've made it home once we've established that self-love and self-worth and self-motivation, like we talked about earlier, within you, where you are undisturbed in your home. The unexpected can come, misery can come, pain can come, but you remain untouched in your home because you are grounded in this home. You are grounded in the realization that you cannot directly be harmed here. What you think you are, what you think you lose, can affect you emotionally, but beyond that, when you're grounded in your home, this is where you return and are always at, as well as the ones you love.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I saw, or I put up a post. I put up a lot of posts every day, 50 or 60 posts. And there was always, of course, there's always a lot of feedback. And it's funny too, because
Right.
there used to be, you feel like you have to say something to somebody, and I'm way past that, but they still make you think. Because
Yeah.
when they come in and it makes you uncomfortable or pisses you off or whatever the case is, I may not say anything now, but I take it in because I know it's me. Ain't
Right.
got
Right.
nothing to do with them.
Right.
But somebody put up something on one of the posts the last couple of days, and they were talking about, well, the Illuminati or the big bad wolf can still kill you physically. And I'm like, well, who gives a fuck, right? Now this is my own internal dialogue. You got to walk the talk.
Right.
I mean, if we are truly eternal, infinite, divine, expanding beings, then what can happen to us? What can hurt us out there? And and by the same token, whether it be Jesus or QAnon, what can help us? Nothing. I can't teach you anything, and you can't teach me anything. You can tell me something, and I can tell you something, but until I experience it and really embody it and really, alter my cells and my molecular and my DNA, nothing's happened. It's just a bunch of words.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say all others can do for us is just reassure us that we're not alone here. Other than that, nobody can help you, but show you you're not alone. There's other people here, obviously, but no one can help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while
But
some find that frightening, it's actually the liberation everyone is looking for, you know? It's just scary for some when you're in that lower vibration. When you're so in a low vibration, I've been there, I'm sure you've been there, where you don't even want to eat a food or wake up out of bed. I mean, you're in a funk, you know?
yeah.
You don't even want to think about you having to do anything, you even having to eat, let alone do the inner work and fix everything. So it's I can understand why some people look for the deity or look for this or that, but eventually we do have to shake ourselves out and realize it's our time
Yeah.
now, not later.
Now, on a personal level, and you're right, big props on that. Uh, on a personal level, do you feel like here in 2020, as we sit here right now, as far as Tyler goes, I mean, do you feel a change coming? Do you feel like you're going to be moving into something else, another, a different pattern or a different lifestyle? Or a different mission? Do you feel like something's changing to the point where it's you are going to be without a choice?
Not without a choice. I think everything is a choice. Everything's always choice. I would
But
say I'm changing in a sense that I'm developing a greater understanding. And with this understanding, the knowledge is turning into wisdom. Because before I was just delivering a message of this is an illusion, self is an illusion, and whatnot. But with greater understanding now, I'm able to deliver the message of it's an illusion, but in that there's love behind it. There's so much more behind it than it's just a dirty trick, it's just a dirty dream, it's an illusion. You're not what you think you are. It's not meant to be something that we're tricking ourselves with, that's meant to be a dirty joke or a game. It's purely out of love. And it's like you have to understand, when everything is one thing, there's nothing that can be known. You will not know your family, you will not know anything that you enjoy here when all is one.
yeah,
So creation is ultimately a loving experience. Everything.
yeah,
To know anybody at all is pure love, even for a day.
yeah, and I
So
think
I
we
would
got to,
say I'm just changing more into that.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, no, you're good. You're good. No, I'm right with you. And then to look at this whole thing that we set up, is quite impressive. I think to be able to be in in a state of mind where we actually think things outside of us are different than we are, you know, and to be able to
Yeah.
find our way through that, which I mean, all the stuff that we pull down is great. The channelings, the transmissions, downloads, activations, all that stuff is great. But at the end of the day, there's something about the human being that is front and center, not just front and center in our own lives, but front and center in the universes, in the multiverses. Like
Yeah.
the whole is learning from us when we can go take someone, say, outside of ourselves who's really pissed us off or who we really feel like we're not congruent with, or imbalanced by or whatever, and we can actually take that person or that thing or that event or that trauma and create a space of oneness. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
that's yeoman's work. That's heavy work. At least from here, it is. To me, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to recognize
So
the
I wonder,
oneness.
on the cuff here, if maybe we should just, I love this show because it's like having a conversation privately, and you're having it in front of a bunch of brothers and sisters. I think we got about 100 in here now. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm wondering if we should. I know you work graveyard shift. I don't know how many days a week you work, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate you staying up, everybody. He got off work at 6, so he's got to go to bed after this. But maybe we should plan on getting together and putting a little something together and coming together, you, me, and Morgan, and whoever is in that South Florida area, because there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah. That would be awesome, honestly. I've been on my own for 5 years now, I haven't really had much connection outside Facebook. So that would be awesome.
I think there's a lot of us like that. We've been gifted a little condo here near Siesta Beach for a week, and she said the same thing. This beloved sister said the same thing. She's like, you did a video on the beach with the drum circle, and so was there, and so was there. They're like, 10 miles away from me. Please let me, And when we walked in the door, she was like, oh my God, there's actually people, you know, all these people I know are out here in the on the internet. And there's something really powerful about, you know, the soul coordinates coming together in the same location,
Yeah.
where two or more gather. So, yeah, I'd like to do something. We'd like to do something and just, do it on the spontaneous or whatever, short notice or whatever. But we're going to have to know what day you can take off.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be best to be at the end of the week, like, cause I have Saturday, Sunday off, so if I could take Friday or Thursday off as well, like,
Okay.
whatnot.
Friday's good.
All right.
Friday's good.
Yeah,
I think Friday night would be very good.
yeah, that's an
So
awesome
where
idea.
so where are you at, Tyler? Where are you at? I mean, people have been talking about. Somebody said it the other day really well. They said, ever since the fall, ever like October, November, December of last year, things just went like exponentially into another dimension, another timeline or whatever. And then somebody wrote a post yesterday, Michael Muir from Australia. He's been on a few times, and he said, seems like what did he say? Seems like it's only been like three weeks in January, but it feels like 10 years. Um, where you at? Where you at personally? What are you seeing out there? What do you got to say about what's happening? I mean, it's
Um,
moving at a quantum level. I would think you would agree with that.
yeah, I was gonna say I may not have the answer you may want here.
I don't want
I'm a
any
little
answer,
out of the,
just the
I'm a
truth.
little out of the box, a little kooky to some here, but I honestly do not even pay attention to what month, what year, what day I am in. I don't exist in time. I mean, I utilize it to travel through the day, but other than that, I do not know what year. I don't care the year because honestly, we don't know the year. We don't know the time. So that's my personal opinion. I just do not view yesterday, today any different than, it's always the same. You're always home. You're always here. So I mean, I'm grounded there. It's all a reflection of me. It's all me. I'm already home in myself. So everything here is just an experience of myself. So I'm here to now just better myself, understand myself more. Um,
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
and even with myself as Tyler, it's like I travel through Tyler, but I witness Tyler. Like when I write my statuses, I'm not speaking as Tyler. Like I literally put myself outside of Tyler, outside of 2020, outside of concepts, outside of descriptions, and I witnessed what I'm describing as myself.
Yeah,
And it opens you up to so much more because Tyler is limited. Tyler can only be in this room at this time right now. But if I witness Tyler, I'm not just in this room. I'm everywhere. I'm everyone.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so
And I think,
I personally try and practice this.
yeah, yeah.
Some may think you're far gone, but
No, no, I agree with you, and I've actually been assisted because most of the time I can't. There are many times, I'll actually think to myself, what month is this? And I'll be 6 months off. I will have no idea. But you bring up a good point too, and that is and this is the great paradoxical teaching of the universe, where on one end of the spectrum, one thing is, at least in this realm anyway, can be totally right, but on the other end of the spectrum, as much right as the previous, as the polarity. And what I'm getting
right,
at is, you know, uh, the the we're conduits. We're all conduits, and the more that we over identify with what we're pulling down and how special we are and unique we are, because we are pulling down Mother Mary, no disrespect, or galactics, or this or that, or whatever that information is. I love what you said about you're on the outside looking in, watching this vehicle that's Tyler, which is one aspect of your multidimensionality, putting this stuff out and not getting over encumbered, by the depth of that, because it is deep.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that I've been observing, where once we had our traumas and our stories and all that stuff being too much of our identity, now it swings to the other side. The pendulum swings to the other side, and you know, there's just as much. I don't want to say danger, but there's just as much an illusion in pulling from all that multidimensional higher aspect stuff. If it takes away from anything but our oneness, you know.
Absolutely.
So, what would you like to talk about? Is there anything on your mind?
Um, Honestly, I love talking about the oneness. I love connecting everything to oneness. I love helping people see beyond illusion, beyond humans. I mean, this concept of human. There's a lot of fear behind AI and
Hmm.
humans, and
Let's talk
I
AI.
love talking
Let's talk.
about that.
Let's talk
I
AI.
love it.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you this question, because I love your mind. We got to be cousins or brothers or something. Um,
We are.
is there anything that, I mean, to me, when people say AI, beware, 5G, fuck 5G. 5G is me. Is there anything out there that's not me, that's not composed of the exact same thing I am? And if so, how could it be a threat unless I allow it to be? What are your thoughts?
Here's the question I like asking people. If you appeared outside of your current self, would you still view your current self as the self?
Yeah,
Because the actual answer is you would actually only view what you once called yourself if you were outside of it. You would only view it as you currently view yourself, as you are. So if I appeared outside my body, I could only view Tyler in accordance to who I think I am.
that's right.
And that's the reality. Like the human being has not made it past a human awareness. So they seek an alien. But when they look into space, they're only looking into the depth of their own mind. And
Yeah,
they haven't made it past the human awareness. So they're looking for things that don't actually exist. And it's not that they don't exist, it's all you, as you said. So you're only viewing it as you view yourself because we are viewing ourselves outside of ourselves. When we look at another person, we're looking at ourselves outside of ourselves. That's the only way we can judge ourselves and formulate who we are is by looking at others. We bounce who we think we are off of them and
yeah,
say, oh, well, he walks funny. I don't want to walk like that. Well, he does this. I don't want to do that. We base who we think we are off of studying others, and these
yeah,
others are ourselves, are our mirrors appearing outside of us.
yeah. It's like the only separation. Look, the only one creating separation is me. Nobody's going to
Exactly.
create
This is the
separation. I can.
one
I.
itself.
That's it. Ain't nobody creating separation for me. It's me. And I think the universe, or the universal energy, or the one, is supporting the desire and our efforts to reach unity consciousness or reach oneness. I think we're writing the new good book. We're creating the new template. We're creating a newer blueprint. Uh,
Hmm.
that's that's the only way I can see it. I mean, people talk about, well, the past, present, and the parallels and the alternate universes, and everything was created at the same time. Well, maybe in some cosmic galactic, you know, way that's true. But the universe to me is all about movement and expansion. And we're here in like the trenches, given the advantage of extreme polarity, uh, and having the opportunity to expand. But it takes, it seems, I want to hear your views on this. It's, to me, it takes the human agreement and conviction and conscientiousness, being consciously putting that into motion in a very dense environment, which the way I understand the universe, you can only go as high above the bar, as many degrees above the bar, I would say the 0 point, as you've gone below. And we have all gone far, far below. So how important do you think the human aspect is to the whole? And there's no right or wrong answer.
Uh, I've said before, like if we weren't called a human, we would have to be called something else. But all this word would represent, all human represents, and this is my opinion, obviously. A human is just a character that this one mind has made up for itself, and everything's a polarity, as you said. So when we birth into a human or this concept of human, this character, we instantly birth its opposing concept because everything is a polarity. So by us being human, we instantly birth its opposite concept, which we've called God, which again, these are characters. If
Mm,
everything is one, that means it's all one mind. One mind is creating these characters. So the human does not realize it's God mind because it's not self-aware beyond a human awareness. But
yeah,
man becomes immortal through realizing himself beyond the human awareness. So to answer your question, without the human, God wouldn't exist. God needs man as man needs God. They need each other to exist because in us being the human, we're revealing everything that we're not. By me appearing as a limited being, I have I instantly have a concept of its opposite, which is limitlessness.
yeah,
I'm finite. So now I have instantly have a concept of infinite. So it's the human that is revealing our God self. We've created this character of God to awaken to ourselves beyond human,
yeah. Do you
if that
spend
makes sense. And I think
that
a lot
that
of
makes that
people,
makes total
what's that?
sense to me. That makes total. Go ahead.
And I just think a lot of humans in their day-to-day lives, they are terrified of AI taking over the human experience, but all they're actually afraid of is that mask, that character being peeled back from them, because eventually we're all going to have to become aware we're not just a human. The human is a word. It's a limited word that we've assumed an identity of, assumed as us.
Mm,
So eventually, this word is going to have to be seen through, and the majority of people are going to have to realize, well, I'm not in fact human at all. And
mm,
so all the AI threatens is the illusion that we're human. It threatens the self which exists in a human concept.
yeah. And to me, AI
If
is
that makes
anything.
sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is AI? That's like you talked about the word human. What is AI? AI is
Yeah, and
anything
many
that's.
people have asked, what is
Yeah.
artificial and what
There is
is
no
real,
difference.
and everything, the answer is everything's artificial. The human being is artificial. Everything's
Hmm.
artificial because it's all coming from the same mind.
It's a
Everything.
video. It's a video game,
So
and even the
you
character
can
in the video
view
game. Go ahead.
your reflections through fear, but that's just it. When you resist the outside world, you just resist yourself. And since we don't see them as our mirrors, we're resisting ourselves without knowing it. So in letting go of ourselves, we get out of our own ways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as I said, most people aren't aware of it. You
And
wouldn't get in
it's
your own way on purpose. Most people have no idea.
yeah. Well, that's another thing I struggle with is uh is our attention that we give, the attention that we give to where other people are at. Because every time I start doing that, I start realizing it ain't them again, it's me. It's just a bigger impression coming back upon me. And I think that
Yeah.
again, in the paradoxical methodology of the universe, on one hand, we're letting go of this human identity. But on the other hand, as we move into our true awareness and our true nature, something happens to what is the player in the video game. I mean, like, how much more information do we need? How many more downloads or transmissions or activations or channelings do we need? How much more
Until
light
what?
language do we need to speak? Well, to understand who we are, what we're a part of. And I don't think we're in this experience
You
just,
mean as a whole?
well, individually. And as the individual goes a collective, as the individual goes, so goes a collective. What I'm saying is, I don't think we're here just to realize who we are and what we are. I think we're here to actually take that information and then utilize it to expand the experience or expand the universe or however you want to put it, to do something different. If we truly understand there's no death, then what the hell do we have to lose? You know, I mean, what do we have to lose? So the other side of it is, what can we create? We're so worried about losing this, like you said so eloquently, we're going to lose this identity. We're going to lose this human aspect. But the bottom line is, what's the other side of it? What can we create? And that's what I'm interested in, which is why I'd like to get together with you, because I think something would happen. Do you know what's going to happen? Do you plan what's going to happen? No. But something can happen, something new.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I'm just curious, how do you spend your days? Do you go through typical or conventional meditations? Are you in a walking communion? What part of your life is the energy that you put out on social media? Is that a big part of your life? I mean, you made that reference a while ago that you've been alone for 5 years.
Yeah. Um, I just live a simple life. I like to personally just keep things as simple as possible. I'm not a material type of guy, you know. I work, come home, I go to the beach, work out. I'm big into the gym, so that kind
Mm,
of stimulates my mental, physical health. Honestly, I don't really meditate. I do most of my meditating or reflecting, if you call it that, in the gym when I'm actually doing my
yeah,
workouts.
yeah, that is
But
meditating.
honestly, yeah, I honestly just practice what I preach every time I step out of my door. I try to be a better me than I was before. Because I used to have a hot-headed temper and just quick to react. But with this knowledge, I tell everybody comes responsibility. So if you claim to be enlightened, you have to prove that. You have to
Yeah.
demonstrate. You can't just claim the title and then lose your lid off of, someone, telling you something that you don't like. So that's
True.
mainly what I spend my days doing is just trying to walk my walk, and it's
Yeah.
it's fun for me. I love seeing everything as my mirror because I'm revealing myself to myself. Like when someone else gets me mad, it's not them, it's me. And like you said, I'm aware of that. So this
Hmm.
is a new opportunity for me to grow through other people. I can grow and learn about myself.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I do through
Yeah.
my day.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. And we spend a lot of time talking about, I'm talking about all of us, the community, pulling this information and pulling in our aspects, pulling in our multidimensional aspects, whatever form or fashion that was, light language or channelings or, artistic expressions or whatever the case is. And that was to me to wake us up to who we are, you know. Um, and then, like you said, it's we look for these profound experiences or profound moments where we can flip a switch and say, "Oh, I'm here now," or "Oh, I get it now." But it's actually, to me, it's as simple as what you're saying. Simple, but not easy. Infinite simplicity in the sense that we can just now go out. You close your door, you go to the gym, you go to work, and you actually be all that you know that you are. And it's not like, lightning bolts are coming down and, you know, thunder booms across the sky. It's just, it's simple. And it's almost, well, we're embodying all of this incredible information and Akashic into this dense body, this vehicle. And somehow or another, in the experience, we're expanding, not just, oh, I've got a better car or more money or a better job a relationship, but actually doing something for all timelines and dimensions through this seemingly very unimportant, insignificant, small human video game experience.
Yep.
What's your connection to Tesla? I know you. I know
Tesla. Oh,
you.
I have no connection. I don't claim any title or any
No, no, I know.
connection to him.
I know. I no. I
Just
appreciate your humility, but you resonate with them. You align with them. It seems to be that
yeah,
consciousness, that
just been an
energy.
interest of mine since a kid because I actually had the same questions he had when I mean, I didn't obviously know this was a quote from him, and I didn't obviously have the same quote verbatim in my head. But when I was a kid, I'm always was wondering like, what's moving the stars? There's an invisible force that's moving everything, and it's not seen. And I
Mm,
come to find later, there's a guy Tesla that's looking for this force and wants to put this force into our machinery, and then that's where everything
mm.
took off. He found ether, and I mean, I know unlimited energy.
Have you had any? I'm just curious because again, there's no wrong or right answer. The universe presents everything to us. The universe presents everything to us in its own unique way for us. But have you had any type of, paranormal or extraterrestrial or just, you know, off the beaten path type of experiences where you at least considered that something was outside of you? you know, like something's over there and I'm here and has presented itself, and it might take you a little while to acclimate that it's all one and the same, but it just has some type of physicality.
Yeah, I would say in high school, I felt something. I felt something dark,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize it till years later, so it never really went away. But I just learned to ignore it or just, put it out. I didn't even pay attention to it. But yeah, eventually later, I just realized like, oh my God, that was my shadow self. That was me. I was projecting out, and I was avoiding and running from, and so I felt like it was following me, but it was just my shadow. So
Right
of course
on.
it's gonna follow me.
Right.
It's always disguised as something other than yourself. It's always disguised as your worst fear so that you don't face it. But it's just you.
Right on. That's true. One of the things that seems to be coming to the forefront now, more with more acceptance, uh, is shadow. Like the shadow is starting to be seen as the great gift that it is, and maybe that's the place we, the light to me is the light, but the shadow to me seems to be the doorway to a greater light. Maybe that's where the expansion
Oh
comes from.
yeah.
I don't know, but it seems like more and more people are starting to accept the fact that they have shadow, which is to accept the fact that, hey, so and so over there is a victimizer or a perpetrator, and they are no different than me. There's part of that in me, and that's a good
Right.
sign. I think that's a real good sign, and I think the light worker community can use that injection of truth.
Oh yeah. Because it's through that shadow self that we're, I think, projecting our traumas and our unhealed pains or anything we want to blame. We're projecting this shadow self outside of us, and so it's comforting to always have, well, to have something to blame, or maybe not comforting, but you have something that's seems to be following you, and all it really is just
Yeah,
unhealed trauma, you know. But then there's the opposite. Like I said, there's the comforting shadow where you can have something to blame, and that's where I try and again I try and connect everything back to oneness. So for the people who are convinced there's an elite government ruling the world, I don't tell them you're right or wrong, but I just tell them like try and identify with them. Try to realize the word they that everybody uses for government, they are just like you and me. You and me are characters of the mind. They are is a character of the mind. It's a shadow self that we're placing blame into the world because we don't like how we see the world. But all we have to do is identify with it, and the entire world will change because we're not realizing that's us.
yeah, That's right.
We're viewing it as a problem. We're not responsible for it. It's a problem. But when you take responsibility, you identify with it, there is no
Exactly.
one to blame. And once you have a greater understanding, you don't need anyone to blame. You're not
No.
looking for anyone to blame. What you're looking for truly is to just understand.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the universe is subjective and the universe is neutral and we're made in the image, then I think we got to understand that for every time we go off on somebody because we didn't like something they did or said or we don't agree with it, we're actually hindering the expansion of this universal energy. We're hindering our own growth as well, of course, because it's all tied together. But we're actually,
Hmm.
I mean, I think we're at a point now where we have three choices. We can either flow with it, we can oppose it, or we can just say, you know what, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try to do my best to stay in this neutral state and just be, be in the middle with no force of my energy or focus of my energy one way or the other.
Right.
That's regardless of what the narrative is, we've done hellacious work, whatever this is. Whether it's a video game and it's all just cool, I mean, we've come down here and really, I think more than anything, we all need to give ourselves a little credit. You can call that self love, but um, we're doing some work. At least it
Yeah.
feels that way.
Do you view like the universe as a physical object or
No,
physical?
no,
Okay,
no,
just curious.
no. I just I view it as everything's going on inside of me, as within without. I don't agree with the above below thing. I think it's below is above, more like that. But I think that the good question. I think that the like the planetary alignments, the celestial body movements, and that type of stuff is really just synchronicities telling us over and over again where we're at and what's going on. I think they're just as much of a program as anything else that comes out, in that it can dictate us. Oh my God, Mars is in retrograde. Well, fuck that. Is Mars in retrograde more powerful than me? Hell no. Or a full moon or anything else.
I'm sorry, but I
So,
gotta give you a round of applause.
but you know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
and you could say, troops marching down the street or chemtrails or a 5G. Fuck that shit. And even the good programs, even the programs that say, oh, and I'm not picking on QAnon and the Trumps and the white hats and the government or whatever these theories are. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is, a savior program is no more beneficial or a detriment than a Lucifer program.
Mm,
Fuck that
yeah.
shit. Okay. I am sold. And that's it. I don't need to talk about it. But I think we're at a point now where we're actually having souls around this world that are actually making shit happen. They're making stuff happen, and it may not be in the headlines, but they're making these cosmic, galactic, nuclear bomb blasts occur moment by moment with more frequency throughout their day by just being true to themselves. To thine own self be true. And it looks minuscule and unimportant, but it's not. The smallest acts are the biggest acts.
Absolutely.
You know. And
Everything's
I think
happening as it
coming
should.
together, I think coming together too, because of the physicality, because of the integration, the physical and the non-physical. When you and Morgan and I and others come together in South Florida, nothing has to. We don't even have to. It's not what we say. It's just bringing that energy together that's already congruent. That, like you said, uh, now has for 5 years there was nobody other. Now has someone to look at that is a more um, congruent mirror, which 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 creates an illumination, and it's contagious. Yeah,
Definitely create some ripples.
yeah. We'll have to figure something out because I got that download. Like download, whatever you want to call it, half an hour before we came on. And Morgan went out for a walk, and I'm sitting on the couch, and she's messaging me and saying, I can't. I don't do this a lot, but I just said, I'm getting a download. And your face popped up, and some other things came up. And it was all about the physical following the energetic. And it was about people coming together, human to human, whatever you want to call it, and just having whatever you want to call it, fellowship, music, dance, commentary, whatever, and just, balling out.
Just an experience.
Yes. Everybody needs to chill out, man. Everybody Wang Chung. Yeah. I'll hit you up, and we'll figure something out. We need to find a venue, and South Florida is a big market, and I could probably name 20 people right now. I think probably most of them would come. A diverse gathering with no agenda, no program, just a spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative experience.
That would be
That we,
incredible.
yeah,
That would be
well,
incredible.
let's do it. Let's do that.
And when did you say that would be around?
Well, we're going to be here till middle of March, it looks like. And we're going to be in this place that we're at till this weekend. I don't know where we're going after that. I would say probably, realistically, probably middle of February. But I'll reach out to you. I'll talk to Morgan, and because you can't plan a whole lot of stuff in this at this stage of the game. You can't like get too far out there controlling or try to frame anything up. But I'll reach out to you. It feels important. My whole body's tingling, and we'll do something, and we'll
Definitely, man. I
stream
look forward
stream
to
it.
that.
Yeah, we'll stream it. We just need a venue. We need a mixer, which I can probably get, a couple of speakers and a microphone or two microphones, and we'll just improvise cameras, and we'll improvise and make it happen. But you say a Thursday or Friday night?
Yep.
It would be better for you, or Thursday or Friday. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
We'll,
best. Yep.
we'll make it happen. All right, brother. Thank you for staying up for 4 hours. Man, I'm sorry I couldn't get up earlier than that, although I should have, because I got up at 4:44 this morning. I felt like
No
calling you and saying,
problem,
let's do it sooner. But
bro.
I'll see you soon, man.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Thanks for sharing space with me here.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. You take care. Peace
Thank you.
out. We're going to be back in an hour. What time is it? 11? We'll be back in an hour and a half with Hone Edmonds, who just got back from retreat from New Zealand. He's a Maori native. And then 2 p.m. Eastern, Unity Grace, Cosmic Love, Unity Grace, also known as Unity Grace, is going to sit down with Morgan and I and have a Q&A and turn the tables on us. So anyway, you guys, if you're interested, chime in. If not, come back on the replay. Thank you, Tyler. I'll see you later, brother.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Later. Thank you.
All right, man.